Katya is another example of a queen who I think of when it comes to being doomed to fail, particularly during the episode 3 challenge on All Stars 2, which was the HERstory of the World Rusical. Each of the queens was assigned to portray a different legendary woman from history and perform a pre-recorded lip-sync track. The women included Annie Oakley, Marie Antoinette, and Catherine the Great, among others. Katya was assigned the role of Diana, Princess of Wales. And I think Katya ran into a similar problem that Thorgy Thor did during the All Stars 3 Diva Live Lip Sync Challenge. Although Princess Diana is a very recognisable person, her part in the Rusical was just not as funny as the other queens. If we look at the lyrics for Katya's part as Princess Diana, there just aren't many jokes. The only funny line is, quote, "and then the bleep hit the fan, I got divorced from my man." But the rest of the lyrics just aren't funny, and if anything, they come off as being a bit tragic. If we compare that to the lyrics of Alyssa Edwards' part as Annie Oakley, we can see that in Alyssa's part there are quite a few actual jokes in the lyrics. For example, the line, quote, "came out my mama with a gun," and also the repeated line of the words bang bang coupled with the dance routine was already a funny line and set Alyssa up to be in the top. And this is also true for Detox's part as Marie Antoinette, who didn't really have many lyrics apart from the famous line of "let them eat cake," but this was coupled with funny choreography. So it's no surprise that Alyssa and Detox were the top two that week and Katya was in the bottom. Obviously, you could also argue that Alyssa and Detox were in the top for that challenge because they performed their roles well, which is true, but I think if the role you get assigned already has funny lyrics, it definitely helps to secure a top placement in that challenge. And the other thing that Katya was criticised for was the outfit that she wore for Princess Diana. Michelle said that she didn't think that the hair was right and that the dress needed a really long train. However, Katya has since said in interviews that she did intend on wearing a longer train, but it was impossible to dance in, so she had to make the train shorter. And we can even tell that the judges realised that Katya was being unfairly judged, because RuPaul made the point that
now, in Katya's defense, Princess Diana is really the only figure that we remember what she looked like. The other characters were open to interpretation.
It's also harder to make a role funny when you're portraying someone who died relatively recently in historical terms and in quite tragic circumstances like Princess Diana. So to me, this was just another example of when a queen is assigned a lip sync role that is just doomed to fail, or at least not a role that they can win with, because it just isn't as funny as some of the other roles. And this is evidenced by the fact that Katya was in the bottom 2 for this episode, but then did well in nearly every other challenge and made it to the top 4.